Lindsay, welcome to Senate Finance.
Yes, Chairman, Vice Chairs, members of the committee, thank you for your time today. My name is Lindsay Stroud, and I am here representing Tobacco Harm Reduction 101, which I'm the creator and manager of. Just a little bit of insight. Since 2016, I've been doing research on tobacco and vaping in various roles. I did submit written testimony to the committee. I did email it to, and I kind of want to emphasize some of the points that have already been made. A couple of the organizations are saying that flavors are the #1 reason why youth are vaping. Rhode Island works in conjunction with the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention with the Youth Risk Behavior Survey. It's a biannual survey that monitors various risk behaviors. And one of the things that your state does, which is really awesome, is that you ask why kids are vaping. And since at least 2017, Rhode Island high school students are not citing flavors as a main reason. They're not even a top reason. In 2023, the most recent year for the survey, 4% of Rhode Island high schoolers who had ever used an e-cigarette reported using them because of flavors. The most common reason cited by 32.9% of high schoolers was curiosity, followed by 20.4% who cited using them because they were feeling anxious, depressed, and or stressed, and 17.4% who had used them because a friend or a family member had. Nationally, only 13.2% of U.S. and middle and high school students who were currently vaping in 2021 cited flavors as a reason for using e-cigarettes. Comparatively, 43.5% cited using them to get a buzz, 43.2% had used them because they were feeling anxious, depressed, or stressed, and 27.6% had used them because a friend or a family member had. We have numerous adult surveys. A 2018 survey of nearly 70,000 U.S. adult vapors found that 83.2% and 72.3% reported using fruit and dessert flavors, respectively. And then we have even real-life evidence. According to the CDC, between February 2020 and June 2024, disposable e-cigarette sales in the United States more than doubled. At the same time, youth vaping decreased by 55%. So we have evidence that adults are using these products. To talk about some of the adults too, there was about 60,664 Rhode Island adults who were vaping in 2023, and this number is coming from the CDC's Behavioral Risk Factor Surveillance System survey. Since 2016, adult vaping has increased 51.1%. There's an additional 22,476 adults vaping in 2023 compared to 2016. In 2022, looking at a different analysis of the same numbers, nearly half of the e-cigarette users that were adults were between 25 and 44 years old. And among that same subset, I would emphasize that 42.2% of those current adult e-cigarette users in 2022 are formerly smoking, while 29.5% were currently smoking. So it's not overwhelmingly used by non-users. I do want to also, this vaping really isn't big tobacco. I know there's a lot of misinformation. E-cigarettes were first introduced to the United States in 2007, and it was in. The FDA didn't actually get allowed to, regulate them until 2011, and that's when you started to see large tobacco companies start purchasing these products. But this is truly a consumer-driven revolution. I also want to emphasize that in order for you to sell an e-cigarette product, you have to get a pre-market tobacco application through the FDA. In order to even, get this, you have to find that this product is appropriate for public health. And one of the APH standards is the likelihood that users will be able to quit smoking, and also likely to attract new users. And so all of the 34 products that have been approved by the FDA have that. I also, there's this idea that, e-cigarettes might just be just as harmful. We do have 20 years of research on modern e-cigarettes, but also the minute you smoke a cigarette, there's an automatic, response at your body, and we're just not seeing it. So just wanted to kind of talk over some of the points, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Lindsay, thank you very much. Questions or comments for Lindsay? Senator Feelike.
My head is spinning with all those facts and figures.
Sorry.
Other than that, I guess the general question is, are there certain types of vapes that are more powerful, more addicting than others? And do you have that as research also?
Yeah, there's all types of, if you look at the history of vapes, it's been kind of, the federal regulations kind of stifled it. I mean, it started with the Cig-alike, the ones that looked like cigarettes, and then we went into open systems and the mods, and then you've had the pods, so the Juuls, and then the big thing now has been these disposable vapes, which they all have different nuances to them. The open systems are more user-friendly. They're more, you can have differing nicotine levels, differing flavors. Disposables tend to to be, one, you can only get that option on that one. There's a question of nicotine, and how that affects, the youth developing brain. It's still kind of a new whole, subject. And I know what you see with the open systems is a lot of these adult users are actually able to gradually, lessen their nicotine content.
I guess my concern is that if we're opening up these various vape shops, do we have the individuals that are well-versed in those types of aspects in terms of
Yes.
recommending one or the other, like they do in the marijuana shops, for
Yes,
instance?
yes, and vape shops they tend to be people who quit smoking using these products. They are really well versed, and I will never go on the record, restricting, tobacco, adult access to tobacco harm reduction, products. But vape shops are really well versed in helping somebody come in and, figure out what exactly works for them. A lot of people don't understand that quitting smoking is one of the hardest things you can do, and this is where tobacco harm reduction comes in. 480,000 people will die from smoking-related illnesses this year. Some people are just unable or unwilling to quit smoking, so giving them an option that, provides a less harmful alternative is worthwhile.
Well, because I believe there has to be that transition phase in terms of maybe something potentially a little bit stronger towards a weaker version.
Yes.
So that the person is still feeling that type of sensation, but by the same token is weaned off the cigarettes to a more manageable state.
Yes.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you, Senator. Other questions or comments for Lindsay? Lindsay, I have a question for you. Well, two things. I think we saw your testimony, but if you can make certain we get it again, your testimony that you...
Yeah, I did email it. I just don't have it. I can go print some off.
That's
but,
okay. No,
okay.
wait. If you emailed it, we're good.
Okay.
The other thing is, tobacco harm reduction 101 is what again?
It's one of my side projects, so I'm kind of between the professional careers right now, but I've been running that since 2020. There's no financing. As of today, there's no financing tied to it or anything, but I was working at the Heartland Institute, and I left there, and it was 2020, and I was really bored, so I just built a website with all the research that I do, which is examining tobacco and vaping in all 50 states.
Okay. And where are you from? I forgot what your email said.
I'm at Florida.
Thank you for coming up for this.
No problem.
Much appreciated. Other questions or comments for Lindsay? Lindsay, thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to move on to